Good morning, everyone. My name is Bill Elliott. I am the Director of National Accounts for FMH Conveyors. Helping me today is Aaron McDuff, our Marketing Communications Manager. I would like to start off by thanking each of you for taking time out of your schedule to participate in this webinar. The topic for today's discussion is our AfterSort rigid two-stage truck loaders. Many of you guys on the phone probably recognize or associate FMH conveyors with having gravity Nestaflex, powered Best Flex, or even our max reach telescopic conveyors. I wanted to show you an example of our traditional trailer loaders that we have today. And for those of you that may be taking notes, just as a reference point, a gravity Nestaflex trailer loader, in today's time, is going to cost somewhere between $13,000 to $16,000. Our powered Best Flex, you're going to be looking at somewhere between $33,000 to $38,000, depending on the controls and the features that you put on the system. In the left-hand corner, the Best Reach to rigid drive outs, they come in two versions. You have a roller conveying surface and a belted conveying surface. Those are going to range anywhere from between $38,000 to $45,000. Our max reach telescopic solution, those are going to range somewhere between $50,000 to $60,000. When you look at the AfterSort two-stage trailer loader, or also known as a TL2, this is not new to the industry. In fact, FMH Conveyors has successfully deployed thousands of these in the field. The exciting part of this at this point now is the AfterSort is under the FMH Conveyors umbrella. This gives you and your customer another option. The price of the AfterSort system falls between the gravity Nestaflex and the powered Best Flex, somewhere between $24,000 to $26,000. If you have a customer that wants a gravity system, that's maybe used a gravity Best Flex or gravity Nestaflex over the years, they insist on using the gravity conveyor, and they also are loading the trailer with pallets as well, the AfterSort could be a solution for you. From a design standpoint, the benefit of the AfterSort, unlike the gravity Nestaflex or Best Flex, it doesn't have the scissor mechanism or the side link mechanism that opens and closes. So if you've got the Nestaflex extended into the trailer and you take a pallet jack in the truck with a pallet or even a forklift and you drive in and out, inadvertently you're going to damage that flexible conveyor. Unlike the flexible conveyor, this AfterSort two-stage loader has a robust design that can withstand impacts of lift trucks. It starts out with a 10-inch structural channel. The operator controls at the discharge end are recessed and protected. So basically, you can have this unit extended into the trailer. As you're driving a forklift into the truck, you can bump the edge of this unit and rub it all the way down into the nose of the trailer, and you're not going to hurt the unit. This AfterSort two-stage truck loader also has integral guardrails, and so it eliminates the potential product damage. And what we mean by that is that the rollers are set low in the frame. So basically, you have side rails all the way down the system. The two-stage loader also, unlike the gravity Nestaflex or powered Best Flex, where you have to manually push and pull the unit in, the two-stage loader is equipped with a powered drive system. It's from an ergonomic standpoint, the operator, all they have to do is to push a button and extend and retract the conveyor into the building or into the trailer. This unit does require 480 volt power, so it's a powered in and out, but it's a gravity conveying surface. The AfterSort two-stage loader, the two-stage design also reduces the overall space required. Giving you, for an example, a 60-foot trailer loader is going to compress down to about 30 to 32 feet of floor space inside the building. This unit is tried and true, and it has a proven reliability with over 3,000 units in the field. When you look at the first onset of a project and you're trying to determine the number of doors that the customer has, we believe the AfterSort offers a very low initial investment cost up front. Again, it falls between the Nestaflex and the Best Flex trailer loader. We also believe that it offers the lowest lifetime cost of ownership. It has with proper maintenance. We believe this unit will last over 20 years. It does offer very low maintenance cost on the life of the unit. There's very few moving parts. Basically, on this machine, you have a drive, and then you have the operator controls up front. The rest of it is mechanical. We have seen this particular machine in operation. We have seen where it reduces load times and increases productivity because it provides a steady flow of cartons down to the operator inside the trailer. And really, the other way of looking at this, you can force feed the product to the operator inside the trailer. Unlike with a powered belted conveyor, where the operator gets tired, he can turn the belt off and he can stop. With this unit, as long as product's present, they have to unload the unit. Put a little bit of a plug in for FMH conveyors at this point. This particular slide shows an example of a job that we did where we provided a max reach telescopic conveyors for the trailer unloading for the receiving side and the AfterSort truck loaders for the shipping side. FMH conveyors basically is a one source vendor or a one source supplier. We are the only manufacturer that offers a full line of products for both shipping and receiving. So the benefit for you guys, if you have a consultant package, you're working on a bid package, and you're looking at a trailer loader, you can look at this several different ways if you use FMH conveyors. We always approach things as a consultative standpoint, try to figure out what is the best fit for the application and the product that we're trying to convey. So again, we're not a we're a one-stop shop. So you can come to us for any of your truck loaders, unloader needs. The applications in the market segments that you're going to find where you're going to find the application for the AfterSort two-stage loaders is really no different than the rest of our product line. It's e-commerce, the parcel post industry, 3PL companies, the food distribution, and the retail distribution centers. Now, looking at the AfterSort two-stage loader from a unit standpoint, I want to kind of go over with you a little bit about the features. This is a two-piece telescoping design, and what I mean by that, I'm going to try to choose the drawing board here. Basically, this lower stage, this unit here, will drive out into the trailer first, and once it drives out into the trailer, this back end will catch here, and then the entire unit will pull into the trailer. So the entire unit extends in and out of the trailer. It's powered in at a 45 feet per minute. The decline, the space that it takes, and we'll talk a little bit more about this on the design considerations, but the decline needs 60 inches of clear space. And what I mean by that is you can see the herringbone transition here that we're providing. This is the feed conveyor that you would provide. Up underneath there, we need 60 inches clear to the floor for this machine to operate. And I'll explain to you on the next slide on some of the reasons why we need the 60 inches clear. The in-feed elevation of this two-stage loader is 54 inches to the top of the roller. The discharge in where the operator is going to be unloading the product is going to be at 26 inches. We do use a 1.9 diameter roller. They are 16 gauge roller and are lightly oiled bearings as a standard. A standard arrangement is 3-inch axle centers. We like to follow the same rule of industry standards. If you have three rollers underneath each carton. This particular unit has a safety bumper bar with an auto reverse on the front. This is to make sure everybody knows where I'm talking here. And basically, what this device does, if I'm extending the unit into the trailer and I bump into something or someone, it's going to stop the forward motion and back the unit up. The other feature that this offers, the benefit this offers, is if I'm loading a trailer, all I got to do is use my hip to bump into that bar, and it's going to automatically back up. It's going to back up about 12 inches and then stop. This unit also is equipped with a manual steering arm on the front of this machine. You have a steering that's up to 3 degrees in either direction, left or right. I talked a little bit about the recess controls. They are located on the discharge end of this machine, and typically you have a belt start. You have a power on, power off, a reverse, an e-stop. You might have a switch for a decline to control the up front, or maybe even a light or fan that we'll talk about. The wheels are 18-inch solid wheels, tires, and they are guarded. They have a wheel guard, and the reason we guard those is, again, because most of our customers are loading the trailer, they're floor loading, but they're also bringing in pallets of non-conveyables, and they're bringing it in with a forklift, and so this guard helps protect the wheels. The unit extends out using a 1.5 horsepower drive motor. It's a lens reducer. It's like a worm gear, so there's no chain, no sprocket to have to worry about. And then the last stage here has just 10-inch rigid casters, so there's really not a whole lot of work that this unit is doing that these wheels are doing. It's just following the path of the first two units. The capacity of this unit is 50 pounds per linear foot capacity, and the maximum live load is 3,000 pounds maximum live load. These two slides here basically shows the floor track assembly. This is the floor track that we're talking about. It comes standard with each machine, and the floor track actually help guides this unit straight in and straight out. So as part of our package, you will get the guide track. The other thing that we're showing here is the FESTOON cable. I'll show it on this side here. You can see this yellow FESTOON cable. This is how the machine gets the 480 volt power supply, and also how it gets a signal back to control a belt decline. As part of our package, you'll have the FESTOON assembly, you'll have the floor guide track system, you'll also have the fuse disconnect, which is located right here. And the fuse disconnect is rated, we have a fuse that's rated at 6 amps that we put into the box for this machine. And then looking at the operator controls, you have an option to put them on either the left-hand side or the right-hand side of the conveyor. And this is important when you get ready to order this conveyor. The factory is going to ask you, okay, which side of the conveyor do you want the controls on? And so it's a little bit tricky. So if you're standing inside the building and you're looking into the trailer, and I'm talking about the picture on the left-hand side, if you're standing inside the building looking into the trailer, and the controls are on the right side of the conveyor, then it's a left-hand conveyor. What that basically means is that you've got your decline and this truck loader justified and aligned to the left side of the trailer inside going into the trailer. On the other picture, the controls, if you're standing inside the building and the controls are on the left-hand side of the conveyor, again looking in the direction of flow, it's a right-hand conveyor. And that just means that the conveyors are justified or aligned to the right-hand side of the conveyor. And it's kind of important to know, and you guys, when you do your layouts, what we have seen, if you've got 30 dock doors, you may have 15 that are left hand and 15 that are right hand, because most people will put the truck loaders where they're the inside of each door, so you maximize your aisleway in between the downlines. And that's what we've seen most common. Some of the features that comes with the AfterSort two-stage loaders is obviously the herringbone transition. We call it an optional feature, but really I'll tell you, out of thousands that we've sold, we've never sold one without the transition, and I would encourage you guys not to try to do this yourself. This transition is unique because it pivots. It pivots here at this area, and then it hinges at this area here. And then it has integral guardrails built in. And we can offset those. Those could be 3 inches tall, 4 inches tall, or whatever height we need to fit the application. With this unit, you also can put a light or fan kit that's mounted over top. You can also change the roller centers from a 3-inch center to a 2-inch axle center. So let's say you had a customer that had a 6-inch carton, you would want to go with a 2-inch center. We do offer an option to change up the old bearings and the rollers to go with an ABEC bearing. There's a word of caution here, though. If a customer's concerned about noise, let's say you had 50 dock doors and all these trailer loaders are going with lightly old bearings, you're going to hear a little noise, and you guys are probably familiar with that. So if they're concerned about noise level, the ABEC bearings is the way to go. But the caution is the ABEC bearing does not roll as freely as a roller that has old bearings. We also have an option with 230 volt 3-phase power option for you, and then of course the fuse disconnect, and then the operator controls. That operator controls can control a pop-up stop on a decline, a gravity decline, or we can have a belt stop button to control a belt decline. Here we are on our first section, first break here. Questions. Any questions come to mind real quick, or maybe hopefully I'm not moving too fast for you guys. If there's any questions, please feel free to hit the chat button. I see one question. I see one question regarding the floor track. The guide track is not flush mounted. It's actually anchored to the top of the surface. It does stick up about 4 inches above the concrete floor. We'll give just a minute here, see if anybody else has any questions. Okay, we will continue moving on just for sake for time here. There'll be another area that you can ask questions. This next section here, we're going to talk a little bit about the standard, kind of common lengths and common widths, and we'll kind of walk you through this. If you're loading a trailer, basically those 3 common lengths that we have: a 56-footer, which consisted of 2 28-foot sections. We have a 60-foot unit that consists of 2 30-foot sections, and then a 64-foot unit that consists of 2 32-foot sections. My rule of thumb is if you're loading a 48 or 53-foot trailer, you're going to want to go with a 60 or 64-foot unit. If you're loading a pup trailer or maybe a 40-foot container of some sort, you can get by with a shorter 56-foot unit. The tricky part about these 2-stage loaders, the AfterSort 2-stage loaders, and I don't know if you guys caught this, and we'll talk a little bit about this. The upper stage is 32 inches. These are common widths: 32 inches wide, 28 inches wide. And what that really means, that is the between the frame dimension. So again, as the rollers are set low in the frame, it's very important to understand the between frame dimension. And the top section of the 2-stage is always 4 inches wider than the bottom stage. So for an example, the bottom stage has a between frame on this particular model has 28 inches wide. So what's critical here is you need to understand what the orientation of your cartons. We need to know if they're going to be traveling short side leading or long side leading. And for an example, if you have a 30-inch wide carton and it's coming down the conveyor, it'll make it on the 32 wide, but it will not make it on the 28-inch wide, the bottom frame. So even, the next version up is a 35, 31. Yeah, a 30-inch carton probably would make it down to 31, but I would be safe and go with a 33-inch wide conveyor. So when you're selecting the width to use, know your maximum width carton, and I'd start looking at the bottom of it first. And then normally what we do is we try to match the width of the top stage to marry up with the feed conveyor, the width of the feed conveyor. So again, for an example, if you're using a 30-inch wide carton, you're going to want to go with a conveyor that's got a 33-inch wide bottom, so at least gives you 1.5 inches on each side of that carton. When you look at the model numbers, they're pretty simple. The model number on this particular slide here is a TL230 3228. The TL2 just represents it's an AfterSort model conveyor. The 30 represents it's a 60-foot unit because it's going to be 2 30-foot sections. The 32 represents the width, the between frames of the upper section, and the 28 represents the between frame of the lower section. So it's pretty standard. If you were going to use if you see a model number TL232, then that means it's going to be instead of the 30 right here, it's going to be a 32, and that means there's going to be 2 32-foot sections. I'm sorry, yes, it'd be 64 foot long. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. From a design standpoint, and when you're doing your layouts and you're trying to figure out what's the best scenario, what's the best application for this, for this product, the first thing you're going to want to look at with any conveyor system is look at the products to be conveyed. If you have a customer nowadays, especially if it's e-commerce, they're trying to convey poly bags, this is not the conveyor for you. This conveyor is going to be for cartons and maybe even totes, unless they're putting the poly bags inside of a tote, which most of the cases, from what I've seen, most people are using belted conveyor. We're using our telescopics or our rigid drive outs to convey it into the trailer. You're also going to want to you're going to want to find out from your customer what size trailers they're loading. We mentioned 48, a 53-foot trailer, maybe even a pup trailer, to try to find out which model, which length of conveyor we need to specify. You will also, you're going to want to know if they're going to be palletizing, using any palletized loads. Are they going to have any non-conveyables that they're going to want to try to load into the trailer at the same time that they're floor loading? That will determine the alignment of the conveyor to the door. You're going to want to know what type of dock leveler is being used. Because this unit has wheels and it drives in and out of the trailer, you're going to want to have a good dock plate, whether it be a portable or an in-ground dock. You're going to want something there to cover the gap between the warehouse and the trailer. And because this unit is a gravity conveying surface, it's really important to understand the slope and grade of the dock. Now, these things are not new. You guys, if you're familiar with FMH conveyors, we've asked a lot of questions in the past when you're trying to design a system, or actually definitely during the order entry. We need to know what the slope and grade of the dock area is. So basically, we need to understand, is that trailer setting level, or is it tilted up or tilted down? Obviously, since it's gravity, we hope it's tilted down instead of tilted up, so things will flow. You also want to ask the customer, what's the required clear space between the loader and the dock door? What we mean by that is, if you look at the distance here, is ask the question, how far do I need to be, when the unit's in a parked position, it's in its home position, not being used, how much clearance do you require off the dock door? Sometimes that dimension could be off the dock leveler. And sometimes it could be just combined. These units can overhang the dock leveler a little bit. The other thing you want to find out is the space available inside the building. How much space do I have underneath the decline? And then, of course, you want to make sure that there's 480 volt power supply available. When you look at a typical arrangement and layout, your decline, and I'll just kind of point this out, the decline where the feed conveyor starts, you're going to want to be about 16 to 18 feet off the door. If you're loading a 53-foot trailer, you're going to want to be 16 to 15 feet off the dock door with your conveyor. And your conveyor, the feed conveyor, is going to want to be somewhere between 66 to 68 inches top of roller. Now we're showing a slide here showing a gravity or belt decline feed conveyor. So I just wanted to point out that the AfterSort two-stage loader can be used with either or. It could be with a gravity decline like you see in the left-hand side. This particular customer has two declines coming off, funneling down into one trailer loader. Or you can also use on the right-hand side, a belt decline coming off the sorter that's feeding a truck loader. And I'd like to point out a couple things here. Use the drawing board again. When you engage FMH conveyors and you guys are supplying the feed conveyor, we can help you determine where to put your conveyor in relationship to the door, and we can help you determine what elevation it should be. And then we also can help you determine how wide these supports need to be in order to accommodate the trailer loader. All that basically, it's just a matter of us, having a conversation with you, talking a little bit about the application on how you're being, how the product's going to be fed onto the loader. The other thing I'd like to point out here is that everything that you see in blue, this is what we call a herringbone transition. FMH conveyors takes responsibility from this point down into the trailer. So you don't have to worry about the herringbone transition. You don't have to worry about the track. Basically, this unit comes as a package, and that's where our engineering comes to play. We will help determine what the length of that herringbone transition needs to be based on what's feeding us. So that's just an added service that we offer to our customers, and make sure and try to help you with layout when you get ready to do your layout. One of the things I like to point out is anytime you're using a belt decline, this is really no trick. You guys are definitely familiar with this. Since the truck loader has integral guardrails with rollers set low in the frame, you can accumulate. So most of our customers that use this unit, they may have 30 dock doors and they have one operator loading 2 or 3 trailers. So they're floating back and forth from the dock door. So if I'm at dock door number 1 and dock door number 3 has got a lot of volume coming down it, this unit will allow you to accumulate back. The cartons will accumulate back up on the unit, and typically what we have is a full line photo eye that's right here. And once the carton's back up on this photo eye, it blocks this photo eye. At that point, you have 2 options. One is you can either shut down this belt automatically, no matter what is on it and where it's located. In my opinion, what I like to use is a run-up photo eye, which is right here. Basically, what that does, that allows, if the trailer loader is full, it still allows you to divert and fill up the decline before you shut the sorter off and go into resort. In my view, that helps maximize, it minimizes the air and the gaps on the conveyor, and it helps maximize the throughput rates. on the loaders. That's just a little trick. I don't know if you guys are used to seeing that. It's pretty common. I just want to make sure you're up to speed on that. All right. The next slide here basically shows our inquiry forms. This is no different than what you guys have seen in the past from FMH conveyors. The one on the left is a dock inquiry form. This will help you if you have a new salesperson or just from an engineering standpoint. If you're going to the job site to do an audit, you can take this form and fill it in. We ask for this form to be filled out. We like to have it up front on the quoting stage, but if we don't get it at the quoting stage, we definitely have to have it during the order entry stage because it's just check and balances. It allows us to look at the data you're providing us and how you anticipate the loader to be used, and we just look for things to make sure that it's going to work properly for you. On the right-hand side is the herringbone inquiry form. This is the details of your conveyor. We're asking what the between frames, the overall height and depth of the C channel is of your conveyor and where the holes are located, because one of the advantages and the things that we offer as a package to our customers is we provide a transition connect bracket kit. So basically when it gets to the field, you don't have to do any match drilling, you don't have to do any fabrication, welding. This thing is bolted on. And so that's real a key to help streamline the installations and to make it all look uniformly. So these things you'll be seeing these primarily. These should go out with every quote that FMH Conveyor sends, and so you guys are probably familiar with these. All right. Any questions up to this point? And we're just about on our last slide here, so I just want to make sure you guys take the opportunity to ask any questions that you might be thinking about.
It looks like we have somebody that was wanting to kind of run through the full line versus the run up line again.
Yeah, let me, I could do that. If you guys don't mind me backing up, let me kind of get back to that slide. Okay, so basically the way this operates is the trailer loader itself is just gravity. So it's got rollers set low, so you can see the shafts of the rollers here. So I've got about 3 inches of channel that is acting as a side rail. So as product comes down the decline across the transition and it hits this trailer loader, the trailer loader is extended into the trailer. So the product is going to accumulate. It's going to back. So if nobody's inside that door and the sorter keeps diverting cartons, the product's going to go all the way down to the nose of the trailer and start backing up. And once it backs up to a certain point, that's when you're going to block this photo eye here. And once you block that photo eye, that's when the decision is to be made to shut down this belt, no matter where the product is located on it, or basically you've got a choice. If you shut it down instantaneously, it's going to shut down, and it could have 30 feet of empty space. Or if you decide and let the full line photo eye trigger this run up photo eye, this belt can continue to run until the leading edge of the carton blocks it. And what that means is that some customers will have a line of accumulation. They'll come off the sorter with a section of accumulation and then go down to a belt decline. This belt decline could be full of product, and then there's probably another photo eye upstream that will start the accumulation to go into accumulation mode. And that's all we're trying to do is maximize the throughput, minimize the air and the space on the conveyor. And hopefully that makes sense to you guys. Let's see here. Go back to the questions here. All right, looks like there's a question from Mike about, is FMH selling these direct to end users, or will they be giving us leads on to use these? There is a handful of national accounts that use this equipment that we sell to, but the majority of these have been sold through integrators such as yourself. We will be providing leads as they come in. to each associate, to the channel. Actually, they'll be funneled out to the channel partners in the regions, and I'll show you a map of the regions here in just a second. Okay, there was a question about what is the pitch or angle of the decline on the two sections. Oh, let's see. Yeah. And does it change with the length of the system? It really doesn't change. The in-feed height is always 54 inches and the discharge is 26. So what you may be thinking is, okay, if I've got a 60-foot unit or a 64-foot unit, it's not going to gravity flow very freely. And you're exactly right. This unit, because it has the integral guardrails, it does rely a lot on line pressure. So it takes a pretty good sized carton to go all the way to the nose of the trailer and to the trailer, depending on the slope of the trailer and the grade of the dock outside. So if you've got a really light cartons and a lot of light cartons, you may want to think about using a up-belted conveyor instead of the two-stage, because it does rely on line pressure. There was a question about private labeling. No, we do not. We are the manufacturer for this. Just reading the questions here, guys. I think that's all I see at this point. Aaron, do you see anything on your side that I'm not seeing?
The only other one would have been the one maybe from Mac, but you may have answered that.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Let me get back to the slide here.
And Stan, yes, we will make this presentation available in a PDF form after this is over. So hopefully by this afternoon or sometime tomorrow, the presentation will be available. There'll be also a video replay available of this as well. So if you or some of the other folks from your place needed to or wanted to see this as well, they'd be able to.
Thank you there, Aaron. This slide here kind of shows. Hopefully, you guys recognize these names on the list here. Charlie Wood handles the blue, the northeast part of the country for us. Mac Burcham handles the southeastern part of the country. Rich Stokes handles the central U.S. And then Victor has a huge territory, the western and then the Latin America as well. Victor Ortez. So hopefully you guys recognize their name. And if you haven't talked to them and you're in that area, I encourage you to reach out to them. For any questions that you have on this product or any of the products for FMH conveyors. For that, I believe that concludes the webinar. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully it was beneficial, and I really appreciate you guys taking time out of your day to participate in it. Thank you very much.